who's watching me?
Christy Eastridge. Here. Stephanie Trees. Here. Liz Tag. Here. Philip Ellis.
Here.
I'm here too. Oh, Kelly! Thank you, Kelly. I didn't see nice, Mom. Yes, there you are. And I already talked to you too.
Let's recognize everybody else here.
John McGraw.
John McGraw here.
Judge James.
Here.
Warren Johnson. Nikki Brown. I was going to say, what's the last name? Here.
All right. Thank you all for being here.
So are we on new business?
Yes.
I did have some things. I was looking at the financials, and right now, as it stands, we have about $229,000, $229,340, and we're getting ready for our payroll. So the 229 that's in there, and with the current projections of expenses for the year, the mill, last year's mill brought in $276,000. There's a 10% holdback, but you get the previous year's holdback. So about, say, 280. And then we get roughly about 37.5 at state aid. That's what the state library does. So that is going to be about 543,000, a little over, say 544.
Well, most of the state aid though goes to purchase like the software and everything. I mean, Van Buren gets 5% of whatever it is. 5% of that.
Okay.
Just directly paid to Van Buren.
So we're getting 5% of the state aid.
Goes directly to Van Buren. Yes.
So we get 5% of the 37.5.
Total for the year is total this year is going to be $255,310. 5% of that goes straight to Van Buren.
So 12.7.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go make these numbers look a little worse. So we're looking at roughly $525,000 going into next year. With a $330,000 bond payment due in January. What is this board's plan for next year?
Well, what we're hoping for, and that's what we've talked about all along, is if the village passes, we can go over the things. We'll probably ask for an extension on next year's payment. Probably even go ahead and do it for 2 years. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to do the special election. So if it does pass, our revenue will start a year earlier versus if we waited until the election next year. And this is just assuming that the bank would do these things. Thinking that if we had to pay like 1 year's interest, that's $98,814.30. So that's why we're willing to spend $20,000 is to try to save $98,000. That was some of our rationale there. If it doesn't pass, you know, have to stretch it out. I mean, you're looking at probably if we stretch it out to 30 years, at the current rate that it's at now, we're doing $128,000 a year payment, which is probably about the maximum we could even hope for. That would have us cut our, even personnel and all our other expenses still yet back about $160,000.
Right.
And the only reason I hate the idea of stretching it out for a 30-year repayment, that would cost us $3,949,400, $212.84 versus if the millage were to pass and we were able to say on a 7-8 year payout, it would cost about $2,606,000.
But
So what we're trying to say
if you paid off early, it would,
is $1,300,000
right.
something $1,000.
If that were stretched out 30 years and we paid it off early, then you save it. So,
That could happen.
I mean, it decreases our, the annual amount that we have to pay for annual commitment.
Well, I'm not against that as a security measure. I don't think the library board can necessarily negotiate that.
Right, you can't. I guess what I'm saying is, you guys, you got cut.
What was that?
You have got to make some cuts
Oh, that's part of the code.
right now. But there is no bridge. What can we do right now? It's going to be
We had a meeting, gosh, 4 months back, probably 5 months even now. And we actually went around the table and I think we all said, can we make enough cuts and keep the library open at the current revenue stream? There was no one at that meeting that said we could make enough cuts and be covering the debt payments anywhere close to what they are, and continue to be open. Yeah, I'm open for cuts. One of the first things I asked back in January with John was basically, is there an efficiency model for what libraries are supposed to have? Should a library this size be operated with 2 people or 20 people? That's some of the things we work. I'm not opposed to more cuts by any means. That was the question that's been asked quite often. Our staffing level now versus when we were in the other library.
Let me throw this farther down. The 276,000, of course you get, like I said, there's 10% holdback, which will take that down to 249. But you get the previous year's holdback, which will bring it back up. If your new mill passes, there is no pulling from last year's holdback to catch up. So it's going to be worth roughly $250,000. Okay. So if you add both villages, we're still not
Right.
making it. We're still $134,000 over.
Based on last year's budget or this year's budget.
Now, you had cut what, like 50, 60 something thousand?
About 70, and I plan on cutting the book budget next year, which the book budget in itself is like 35,000.
And we've already pretty much waived that we're not gonna do a lot of book buying, so that's why you save us 20-something thousand.
So.
Dale, what is the difference in your 270 something and this 350? I was trying to understand. Because this tax from 2018, with the millage received is 351.
I was taking it strictly from.
Because that's like, those numbers match up to the budget, report, not the transaction, but the budget.
But this is what was budgeted.
No, this, I think that's actually what it'll show on
Yeah.
that report. This, December figure here is what will show.
This report.
Because this has so far year to date, 220 that already came in.
That's a question I didn't even ask, is why we started December.
Yeah, it looks like it still runs a year. I don't really know why it starts December in this. But this report says that 220 is actually came in already this year. So that's just where I don't know. You know, that's pretty significant. The variance in this.
Or not this one, the other one, all this. Because I was curious the other day when you mentioned that 277, because I think we had, what, last in 306?
Okay, I see what she did. She gave me this year's instead of last year's.
Okay, so that is what,
So it says 1/2018 to 12/31/2018 instead of 26.
okay, so this is what's coming
So
so
that's
far.
what's coming in so far.
Okay, okay.
So, that's a little better, but we're still the bridge, we have a bridge.
Well, didn't we think that 306 was going to be about the figure for some reason? Yeah, that's what we let it use for 19. And I thought we discussed that we really didn't think that that was going to go down, that it should at least maintain about the same.
So 306.
I thought that's what we had. But, you know, if we're looking at that wrong figure from that one report, that we get from the, you know, that's what we base it. Because yeah, we had, you know, for 19, we had anticipated, I think 306. Oh, that was pretty much holding level with what we had before, 8. But yeah, still, yeah, we need to look at explore eating.
Right, that's not from 306 to 276. That's only a difference of 30,000. And we're looking at we're looking at a difference of a little over 100,000.
Well, that 306 and 276, that's not that whole back here. 30,000, 10%. We might need 2 meals instead of 1. We probably do need to get together and make sure we're all,
Well, you know,
making big assumptions.
Making that adjustment, which we should be bigger than it was, we're still running, we still got to make some cuts to about another 100,000 cuts. And you said 30,000 in books,
Yes.
that takes us to 70,000, the rest can cut.
I have quite a few plans going on, but I'd rather have them written up before I talk about them.
Well, some of those we've already done.
Yeah.
Towards that level would be like the $28,000 position, so when they did the,
35, wasn't it? You know, 28 for mine, but 35 for the one outside.
the outside, it was another 30,000, 28,000. Sam's,
Was it about 22?
16, 18,000.
Was it? Okay.
I
16.
can't remember.
16, okay.
Then the 8 hours, every employee.
Mm-hmm.
We will have a list of what the cuts we made so far add up to.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see it all now because it's, you know, based on annualized basis. I think we'll probably say the personnel services that we budgeted for 2000, for this year, in the budget that was approved, you know, by the board report, it showed 273,1704. I would bet that we've already made at least 73,000, if not more, if you include any benefits. You know, that.
Right.
was the one, hiring the outside director, that would have been benefits and everything, so that's above and beyond the salary, so. But in fact, I'll probably try to get you a detail of this in the next 4 or 5 days.
Sure.
Just so you'll be able to see what we have done on the personnel side. I was been wanting to study a little more in depth some of the fixed expenses that, there's not a whole lot we can do about. But being closed for one day,
Yeah.
that certainly will cut down on our utility side and stuff like that.
And I got Chris to balance our electric, so it was down like $500 a month the last 2 months. It's all programmable, so he went in and balanced it all.
If July is typical for personal services, next year would be somewhere around $197,000 as opposed to $273,000.
So we're talking, let's just turn that to 200.
That's what, 73,000? Or is that 100 we're looking
So
for?
we cut 73.
Books.
No, looks to clean up that janitorial, I'm cleaning up that
And from books.
general supplies will be cut. Food will be cut completely out, travel will be cut completely out.
I'm sorry.
Food and travel will be cut completely out, that's 45.
100.
So,
So with those cuts, it almost from that village passing, we should be in decent shape.
I feel like it.
There should be some of these savings and utilities being closed when they'll be too.
Friends took over our utilities for sanitation, and they also pick up any other utilities. We feel like so,
Atlas. Okay.
good shape.
So let's add up the difference you just said. 73,000 in personal services. 200 instead of 273. Supplies and all these other expenses. Let's just group supplies, other services and charges, and capital outlay all grouped together. You just came up with books and travel and food, and so it's like 11,000, 30,000, and then another $5,000. Is that right? 30,000 for books, $5,000 for food, and
Yeah. Computer services, we're gonna cut about 1,500. Our internet, we might not budget quite so high because we get 70% of that back, so I don't know what we're gonna put in the total amount on the budget when we get it reimbursed.
But when it's reimbursed, it does go in like this, does it go to the funds and donations?
It goes straight back into general account. It went in there today. I was up there talking to Misty today.
It goes to.
so that, the ones that you just said, that's a decrease of, say, rounded up to $110,000.
Oh, and we won't do any of the youth center. I haven't been using that anyhow. That's 2,300.
Okay, so 697 and 647, which was this year. And we're subtracting off 109,500. That comes to $588,147. And your meal brings in what?
Or we're thinking
Are you-
306.
Okay, so 306.
What is this 351 from last year?
Is that the payment?
It says millage receipt.
Yeah.
Okay, so 351, is that?
And we've been basing on the 306, trying to be conservative in worst case.
Is that millage only or is that millage plus state aid?
I think that may have some other in.
That's,
That's where we gotta get the.
so let's say let's go ahead and say 350.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's what it got.
So we're at 588 minus 350. We're still $200,000.
Based on one bill. Right.
Did you include the entire payment or the $100,000 payment?
We don't know that
Right.
we're not talking a loan, we're talking a bond. We're not so sure we can get a year of interest on it.
Well, we pretty much already know that, if we don't, the bill doesn't pass, we pretty much know that we're gonna be skinning month to month until we just basically have to close.
Well, what we'll have to do is, you have to take into account what people have built up, like accrued vacations and personal time and things that they're gonna be getting paid
Until
out.
our pay time happens to get paid out, just a vacation.
We have to, keep the lights on, even if the building's not being used. So what we're doing is we're backing up when we're actually gonna run out of money to be able to protect the building. We're looking at January, roughly.
We feel the mill's gonna pass.
It's not gonna pass.
We think
Somebody
it will.
else. I mean, okay,
Well-
if it does, it does, but what if it doesn't?
That's why I try to go, well, a good plan B, and I actually kind of like it better than the millage in some ways, is to go for the sales tax. You know, I'm not concerned about the sales tax, because it would be on the same ballot as the 1% continuation that you're gonna be asking for, and I didn't wanna do anything that might jeopardize the county general fund. But I love the idea that if we pass a sales tax, we actually get that revenue within about 2 months or 3 months. That would be one plan B. I don't know if that's the one you were thinking of.
Would. Do you think you can make it with fewer people?
Maybe one of the part-time people, we have to have at least 3 a day. That's why I literally narrowed it down to a guarantee of 3 a day.
So you can only do it that one part-time person.
We have, the way we have it now, one day a week, we have 4 people here as one of our part-times. And that day is like a breath of fresh air. But yes, we could do without one part-time person or cut those to where, as long as we have 3 people each of the days we're open, other than Saturday. Saturday we only have 2, and they say they're crazy, but it is only 3 hours, so you know, you struggle through, and I just tell them, say, yes, don't try to do anything else, manage the people. But yeah, we couldn't do without less than 3 people a day.
You could.
You come try?
I know you can. I mean, why do you need more people than Dollar General?
Well, do you know how Dollar General slots? And it's so hard to get checked out. Nobody likes that. We try to
You know,
serve
now that
people.
This is gonna suck if we have a dark building. Guys,
Well, I mean,
we got to make some cuts. We can't just put all our hopes and dreams on a mill that may not pass. We got to make some cuts.
but we've all agreed that there's not a possibility to make enough cuts and stay open on current income levels too.
There are. We can do it.
Make a $330,000 payment on the current millage.
We can, they will work with our bond on the restructure if we can show them that we're cutting, that we can make ourselves financially stable. But more than just asking for a meal, they made it brutally clear, at least to me on the phone, we have got to see some significant cuts. And Darla was pretty brutally clear the night she was here.
Oh, the same night that we agreed it'd be impossible to make enough cuts without that same one.
So, I mean, we're not even gonna get the bond restructured if we don't make some cuts.
And I had no problem looking at it, but we do need to recognize that we have, let's say on personnel services, if we cut 73,000 annualized, and I think it's likely to be greater than that, and we've already cut about 37% also. I mean, that's pretty good, substantial.
Oh, I'm not discounting what you cut, I'm just saying it's not enough.
Supplies, we've taken 30,000 off of that. So basically, if you're looking at a total appropriated 697, 330 of that's the payment, that leaves about 360 something, and we we've already made cuts of over 100,000, we've already cut 30-something% out of it.
I don't know what place you go to and expect somebody to cut, what, 50 and 60%? Who does that and who can't? Why would you be running on that if that wasn't what was needed? I don't know anybody that just goes to blow money for fun when it's government money.
I don't think anyone's opposed to more cuts, we just have to try to figure it out.
You have two
Cuts
options.
alone are not the answer.
When you look at your expenses, personal services and debt service are the two lines. Debt service can be restructured if we show enough other cuts. We're gonna have to dig deeper into personal services to be able to show that amount cut. How many days is Damascus open?
Open 3 right now, because Karen comes up here and helps us 2 days a week.
Where they have been open 5 days.
How many full-time people do you have?
I'm just myself and Lisa here.
Okay, and Karen's full-time, so that's 3. There was one that was full-time with Acres, but they worked in too many hours.
Full-time with Acres. What do you mean? Nobody works more than 32 hours a week.
Okay, see, that's it. They work too many hours to not pay Acres.
Lisa, I know, went and talked to them. I don't know what that's about, but I don't know a lot about retirement.
So, what about, is Deborah full?
Part-time.
Lisa's full. Karen's full.
Yes,
You're full,
yes,
and that's all.
yes.
Is one of the full-time people at Damascus, or is Damascus just open through? Does she come here the other 2 days?
Yes.
Oh,
Did we fully fund Damascus from,
No, all we do is pay Karen's
Base
salary.
Damascus pays
pays
all
everything else.
expenses.
We send them books, she's under 60% books, but yes, we only pay her salary.
how long have we had Damascus? You know,
I know Miss Linda Dingley tells me all the time the story because she helped open it, but I don't know how long it's been. Do you know, John?
maybe 10
It'd be a lot of years, I think.
years.
Linda's 74 now, I think. She always tells me that too. And I think, they were quite a bit younger when her and her husband started.
Okay, and your part-timers, you have Hannah, correct?
Uh-huh,
Kimberly?
yes,
And Ron?
no,
He's no longer here.
I haven't had him in over a year.
October 2010, Damascus opened.
Oh, okay.
October 2010.
So we have 3 full, and how many parts?
3.
Are we obligated to provide an employee for Damascus, or are we in some kind of agreement with them?
We're not in an agreement with them, right, John, but it's our benefit to have that other location and them paying for everything other than her salary.
I thought that there was an interlocal agreement in place on that.
With
But is it
Damascus?
not? Yeah.
I don't know.
Not that I've been told, but I'm sure I have plenty to learn. Do you know anything about it, John?
Yeah.
I thought that there was something in place with that agreement that they pay for the
Provide the
building, we provide the person. So I don't know if there's,
A timeline or?
yeah, or is that
It
in
would
there?
probably be a year-to-year.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a year.
I can definitely find out. I'll call Cindy.
You've had your hands on that
Yes, I saw it when I was
research.
researching. I don't think I have it with me, but I know I saw it. Now, whether or not it had an end date or it was automatic renewal kind of thing year to year, I don't know. but there was, because I was curious about how Damascus was funded. And it was clear that they provided everything but the personnel. But whether that's still in play, I don't know.
And next year, we've got a minimum wage increase that will impact you as well with
Right. I think that Hannah and Kim will get a bit of a raise on that. I think Hannah will, she may not, it may just be Kim.
I think if, assuming this report's correct, it would be a 75% for both.
Okay.
So it's going from 9.25 to 10, correct?
Mm-hmm.
11, next 2 years from now.
It's incremental.
I think it's
So, just because, I don't know.
Front desk, I try to keep Hannah and Kim on the front desk, because they listen very well and, to how I want it ran, so that they keep it straightforward, the same consistency on the front desk. So they mostly take turns running the front desk, because one day she's off, Kim's on, and so they basically run the front desk.
So they don't work the same days.
They typically, there's only one day that they work the same day, and that is Tuesday.
Okay, so can we cut one of them one day a week?
You could, I guess.
There's an overlap.
I mean, like I said, there's the one day we have for,
Okay. I'm just saying, we're going to do what we're going to do. Unless we want to pull on the door that's locked.
yeah. She's paid for 18 hours a week, and she volunteers about 28 otherwise, doing other things, like the cleaning. She comes in to do the cleaning. She does friend stuff, so she runs all, typically Deb was responsible on the clock running all the friend stuff, because that's part of the position. She does all of that voluntary now. And so it's just, you know, when you get into cutting people that already barely have any hours, but yet are giving their life away volunteering, I mean, I don't know, it's hard.
It does get hard. There's nothing easy about this.
Is the tech person, so she mainly runs like the internet, she keeps the computers going, the printers, that type of stuff. She usually works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because she comes in on Friday, because that's the day we're not here using computers. But recently I've switched her to Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, just because we need the hands.
Friday when no one's here.
She was doing Friday when no one was here, so that she could maintenance the computers, but we've just been having her come in on Tuesday instead of Friday, and she'll just have to go to the back room and do them.
Okay, so what kind of maintenance has to be done on the computers?
Oh, it's constant. I mean, you know, these computers are used a lot, so, you know, constantly trying to fix something, update software, run. I don't know all that stuff, I don't do tech stuff, but I just know she works on them a lot. She stays tons of extra hours to work on them after hours to keep them updated, because she works 24 hours a
I'm
week.
going to play devil's advocate some here. Why can that not be done while there are other patrons on other computers? Why can you not do one computer at a time and update them while you're doing other things?
She does do that, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, she does do that, but I'm just saying, the reason we originally were gonna have her come in on Fridays is because she could work on more at once while we weren't there, like the networks. People get super upset if you are messing with the network and they lose something, of course, you know, and so it was easier, but because we have to have the hands, that's what I told her, she has to just come in Tuesday and do them as she can, but there's many times that every one of our computers are used.
Okay, how many computers do we have?
I honestly would have to go look, 30,
30-ish.
something like that. Which is totally essential, we wouldn't be able to do without Elisa, because she does the cataloging, she's the only one that knows how. That means she's gonna be ordering books, she gets them in, she catalogs them, the system prepares them to be checked out.
Lisa's probably one of the best faces of the library. She's very respected in the community.
She's been here a long time, and she's related to absolutely everyone.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm the director. I pay the bills, I manage the staff, I go to the meetings, talk to everyone that needs to come through, and anytime there's a complaint, I handle the complaints,
Right.
Do you
all the
do,
grants, yeah.
do you do physical work in the library?
Oh yeah, I still help out all the time because we have to have at least a backup person every day. So if someone's not here, like if it's just 3 of us, then I'm gonna have to be up front working in that area because, like I said, the front gets too busy for one person, so they're gonna need to holler for a backup. And so then I'm gonna be there so that I can still sit back there and kind of work on stuff, but I'm still close by to be available whenever, they say, I need some backup, or I see a line coming or whatever.
What about, what does Karen do when she's here?
Tries to help me out with the kids area because that's what she's most familiar with. So I'm not in there, and the people super miss not having a kids librarian, of course. And so she's in there and she'll prepare like our story times and stuff because a lot of times I don't have time to do that anymore. So she'll prepare the story times and the crafts and get that all ready for us. And then whichever one of us has time to do it, we'll actually do it on Tuesday. But she'll prepare that. She keeps the kids' room straight, puts the kids' books away. So just basically prepares the kids' stuff while she's here.
Okay. So, just coming from an ignorant place, could you not do the kids' stuff while updates are running on those computers? We get them started, we step away for a while.
It's not like she's just sitting there looking at an update though. She multitasks far too much. I mean, she's a crazy multitasker.
And I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying, an individual.
Right. We could just definitely go without having anybody in the kids' room. It's just that it gets fairly wild in the kids' room if somebody's not there. Because people come in and they drop their kids there and then they go and do their thing, which is not really what's intended. They're really supposed to be supervised until a certain age, but it's still gonna happen. And so 5 days a week, no face in the kids' room makes it very chaotic. They just come to expect that they can come in and be very chaotic because there's no constant presence for the kids' room to have anyone. Obviously, I would say cutting, that would be the easiest area to cut, but it isn't gonna help us any really whether it's in Damascus or here, other than the fact of a face of in the kids' room for us, If we were gonna cut somewhere, cut back on the place that you're in the room, but still, then Karen's gonna still want to maintain full-time in Damascus and she has a huge group of following down there that will be livid if she doesn't.
Well, I'm attaching these names to these tasks, and I don't mean to do that, I'm just saying. It looks as if there are tasks that can be combined. Like it or not.
I would love for you to come visit us one day and just stay the entire day and see if you think that there's some time extra. I'm being dead serious. Like, come on Monday sometime and sit with us and see if you think that there's some time extra for somebody to run around somewhere different.
So you-
100%.
So not, you'd rather close.
I'm gonna do what I've been doing, hope that this millage goes through because I've had nothing but positive. And then if the millage doesn't go through, then we'll continue to talk and we'll figure this out.
I want an answer to this question. Had you rather make the difficult cuts or had you rather close?
I already answered.
You did not.
Well, I answered the way I'd like to.
We will always look at cuts as we have to do it.
We're
We
looking
all
at
want
what
to
we're not
see.
making them. That's where it's frustrating.
You've
There
made
again, I'll
so much
make an
of it.
exception to that, we've already cut that by 33%. We have been making cuts. And we've all agreed it's impossible to cut it enough through personnel and services and stay open on the existing revenues.
I would probably, if we were gonna,
Every
I
one
would
of us
rather
like that, do you?
talk about cutting a day before I started talking about, we'll get there when we get there, but I feel super positive about this millage. And, a lot of other people do. I know y'all feel really down about it, but it's kind of sad because the county should be really supporting us. We should be all on the same page about this. If everybody felt positive about it, more as a community would feel positive about it.
It's not that I'm negative about the village. It's that I'm realistic about what's reality. We had no plan B. That's reality. We've got to have.
Well, in your discussions and working on the efforts of continuation, what are you finding out? Because apparently you've learned some things that we're making wrong assumptions as far as what can or can't be
We've
done.
got to show some cuts, like significant.
Has
cuts.
anybody given a number? I mean, it's 33%, 40%. What's that magic number we need to work towards?
The magic number we need to work toward is within our mill, within what we've got to work with currently. Because we've got to work on the restructure now. That's a process. We can't wait until
Well, what I would hope
October
This
7th,
lady-
October 8th to make up.
I think what would be real good then for us going forward is figure out what that number is, you know, whether it's the 306 or the 276 or.
Well,
Let's get that.
we figured out there was state aid in that, so go ahead and say 351.
I think 351 is the best number to base it on. It's real data
As
from
a
last year.
budgetable number.
Yes, I mean, like, that's real data and we can all, you know, so I think that the 351 is what actually came in.
So that leaves $21,000 if you make a 330 payment.
No, I mean, obviously there'll be some type of restructure, but if they won't go out to a 30-year, I mean, if they told you,
I'll find out, I'm supposed to find out Friday.
okay. Because I mean, we don't need to be looking at that as a number.
I mean, I think if there was more guidance on that and then it was like, here is the number that has, you know.
That is the number.
But on them as far as, I mean,
What we need to get to.
you know, where they need to be to renegotiate that would be very helpful because 33% is substantial cuts.
Well,
I mean, it just is, and but I get it, that we have to live in reality with numbers, so I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, because I really thought, well, as bad as I hate stretching this out for 30 years, I thought it might be a possibility, but it's not.
We'll see.
We definitely would need other changes.
If we show the changes, it is a responsibility. Or it is a possibility.
The thing that I have to say though is, you know, again, the library board, you know, is a volunteer board, and I feel like everybody was like, you got to do something, you got to do something. They've come up with a plan, and I know that it's not the be all end all. I don't know what more, to me, cutting a few part-time people is not the fix either. I mean, you know, so, ideal world, the mill passes. Southwestern Energy didn't happen, we're not in the spot. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be cuts, but when you're looking at this as a pie, there's not much that can be cut on the personnel services. Really, and maybe there's some, I'm not arguing that there's not any, I'm not, but, you know, you restructure a loan, if they would go out 30 years, that's 100,000, and there's so many scenarios here. I feel until they give us more guidance on what has to be cut, I don't know, you know.
Because I mean, like if they come back and say, you know, 20 years at best, and that puts a payment to, you know, 20 years, so you're looking at probably about 160,000. 25 years, $140,000 payment. We really need to know what we may or may not, because, you know, I hate the idea of paying $4 million back over 30 years.
And it's more than just the bank agreement.
Oh, yeah, I know.
White River Planning and Development has to agree to it.
Andrea, can I ask a question about your books, the money that's been on books? I know you said next year you're gonna drastically cut what's been on books, which, as an educator, that just hurts my heart because those new books, those new authors, that's just so important to the library.
Here's what we're gonna be able to do though. John buys all of them and they buy them in multiples. So we'll still be able to rotate them through. That's all that's gonna save us basically on that point.
So how about approximately 15,000 left for this year? That's pretty good chunk. When you're talking people that work 20, 24 hours a week and work so very, very hard and are working with people when they come in for whatever needs. And I know how it is when you have a spare second, somebody's right there trying to ask you a question. There's 15,000 for the rest of the year. How?
I've been trying to really watch that too. Carla has a specific list that she says these are top sellers, people are gonna always ask for them. So she had suggested, like we've already cut, like say large print contracts, like we had some contracts. We cut those back in March. And then, when I took this position in March, she started doing like some of the cataloging and some of the ordering. And she said what she's gonna do is just order requests and the top ones. So we kind of stuck with that, except this, audiobooks, instead of ordering every month, I do it every 3 months. And then, the request, I do still order monthly, the requests, because that's what's gonna make people mad, is when you don't have the ones they're requesting. So I'm still ordering.
That's fast, it just lines will be longer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Some of the people that are used to being the first one to get it because they put the request in, yeah. So this year, I'm still trying to kind of focus on requests, but yeah, next year, I mean, obviously, we know it'll be tight, so we'll probably just be getting as much as we can through them. And they do usually get, if it's a hot one like a James Patterson, I see y'all get 4 or 5 at a time, right? But still, the thing about it that's gonna be upsetting to ours is we have a few people that always know when these are coming out. They put in the request form 4 months beforehand because they wanna be the first person to get the book and the minute it comes out, because if they're not the first one that gets it, they're gonna get it, they're gonna buy it from Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And so it's still gonna be super stressful, but
But it's the only really discretionary.
That's a
thing.
minor inconvenience that we realize we are willing to
yeah,
have this
Yeah.
go through.
I hope that the public knows, you know, that it's gonna be a hard year next year for us when it comes to that.
But I think what you're asking is, can we cut some of that this year?
Oh, yes, I've been cutting it, yeah, that's why it's only at 15,000.
So it'll show up more.
Oh, yes, Yeah, there's lots of areas that I've already been cutting, so that's what I was saying earlier. It's just now showing through half the year. It'll show up a lot more towards the end because we've just been cutting these, so it doesn't show a lot of the cut yet, but by the end, I plan on this more being like a 70%, like over here, the year-to-date usage. So there'll be a lot in these line items still left.
That's what we'll try to do in the next week, is kind of annualize the effect of what these cuts are. Because it's hard to see, you know, in the first month or two. And then that way, that'll give you a little something to talk to them about. Hey, they have done this, and that might help a little bit.
I mean, Dale, do you think cutting back another day would be a better, I mean, how many days is the library on?
4 and then Saturday.
What
Yeah,
day is
we
your
could
least?
cut Saturday.
Is your least?
Honestly, since we cut Friday, there's not really a slow day anymore. But now that we have the camera, we could. It tells us the highest count days and hours.
Right.
So we could run that and see what's been showing as the slowest day. My guess would maybe be Wednesday because nobody comes in the evenings because they're preparing for church. That would be my only guess. Without any type of facts, would be my guess would be Wednesday.
And
Open
you,
later and close, yeah.
and you do have, and people do come in on Saturdays.
People do. It's busy.
I know some people work long hours, work late, and that may be the only time they can come in, so I think we should stay open on Saturday. If we have to cut another day, you might.
And oddly enough, that's one of the things we've been criticized about is, are you cutting expenses, you're cutting services? Well, we're trying to cut expenses, unfortunately. Part of that is, you know, closing the day that we have. It's kind of, it's really hurt people. Us closing the day has really made things really aware though, you know, and people come in, we've got so much donations. You know, people come in and say, what do we need to fundraise for? How much do we need to raise, you know? And I'm like super excited and glad that they want to fundraise. Our deficit's like 400,000. You know, you can't fundraise that, I
but
think so, yeah.
yeah.
Well, some good food for thought. You're satisfied with if we annualize and get something to you?
Let's do that.
Give you a better picture.
The library is open Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Thursday, Monday through Thursday and Saturday.
Thursday and Saturday. And before, what were your busiest days?
Our busiest days always used to be Monday, Tuesday. The first 2 days of the week always seem to be the busiest. Like Monday is insane always. So it's very, very busy. And it used to be that it got slower as the week dwindled, it would get slower. But it doesn't seem to be that way for Thursday anymore because we have a lot of activities on Thursdays typically. And that's gonna be changing up the school's back in session, so.
Was Friday a busy day for people?
Friday was usually our slowest day, but you know, even on our slowest day, we're over 200 a day.
You know, we're charging, what, 6,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
even now.
Yeah, the daily average has actually gone up over last July.
For our daily average, are we doing that on 4 days a week now, or
Yes,
let's make sure we
calculating it off, well, it's 5, yes, yeah.
So if you were to cut another day, or say you were to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, would you reduce your staff by that much? Well, I mean, would their hours reduce that much?
don't do that.
Or would you, I mean, are you talking about reducing that payroll that much, or are you talking about reducing your overhead utilities that much? Because you're not planning on stacking your payroll during the other days you're open, right?
Do what we can. Of course, one of the concerns will be, you take away 8 hours and 8 hours and 8 hours.
Yeah, once you drop them under benefits, it's gotta be a problem. That's why Sam left, yeah.
Yeah, those benefits are expensive.
Yeah, everybody's dedicated a lot of years of service. I don't know, like, it's hard. I'm the least one, but it's been hard, so. But, like Lisa's been here 20-something years.
Let's just continue to look at it. I don't think we have to make a decision tonight, but it gives us something to consider. But it'd be good to have a target number to work for, or work towards.
250,000.
For total operating expenses and all.
I would hope we can get the monthly payment down around
Yearly,
a year, not that's not annual.
That'd be about 30 years, $4 million.
But there again, we just stay to the course and get that, when we get extra.
I mean, y'all could be,
pay to it,
to some extent, negotiating anything you want to now. Like I say, though, whether they want to negotiate right now is coming. So, yeah, I think it's important to do the due diligence. Our best case scenario, we're looking at trying to do the 2 months or 2 years interest only or something to that effect to save a lot of the money, to push it to where hopefully we have better resources. I'll be glad if y'all need me to on any of that, but I know it's, the county and White River and the
And there are some expenses.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I do want y'all to be very careful in what you're doing and not generate a bunch of our expenses that then come back to the library, hey, we worked this out. I mean, y'all pay $100,000 in legal fees and this and that. So that can get out of hand too. So keep that in the back of your mind and negotiate. Anybody else have anything? Warren, do you have anything to add? Kelly? Anything?
Oh, it's the golf range.
Chad, anything you'd like to add? Questions or?
I was here in January and I kind of saw all of this and it's playing out. Unfortunately, I kind of hope I'm wrong. Hope we were all wrong. It's playing out just kind of the way it looked. The reality is, unless if that bond stays the way it is, I just don't see any way this library stays open. That's, to me, that seems black and white. And I know that the library board has zero control whatsoever over that bond. And so I don't know. I cry for all of you because I don't know what you're doing. So.
Other than you do have Damascus, which is paid for except for staff, so you can put one person in and call the Damascus Library, Van Buren County Library for 7 years. Not buying books, but one person every year for whatever, $21,000 will get you. That's your library for time.
Really good. Backup plan.
Well, I didn't say doomsday. I think I did say the word doomsday.
I agree with what Chad said. I will say, so, you know, I don't know, surprising, I was surprised by this. The flyers that are going around today, Mr. Brought them by, and, I thought that they were good, and anyways, he was talking to us about it. Later on in the day, my mom came to me and brought the flyer and said these are all over their way, and that, the people that she worked with were all going to support it, and the examples given were, you know, or not all, I don't want to say that, but, you know, several people, homeschoolers, people, a lot of people that don't have internet at home.
That's
A
a
lot of
big thing.
people who need it for their kids to do their homes.
We do not, a lot of people.
And
don't
so,
have-
I don't know what will happen with the village. I haven't heard a lot of good feedback until that, but today was good feedback on people that, you know, feedback from people that I hadn't talked to and that I didn't know would support it. So there's definitely a need for internet services for kids to be able to do their homework. And I get it, but I think there's a need out there, and so I'm hopeful I'm not hanging everything on that. But today was good feedback on that. Whether tomorrow will be, I don't know.
I mean, I hate the idea. I don't want to pay any more taxes either, but I really, that's why I've always asked everybody, what's the better alternative? Can we cut it back enough and survive as is?
So that was
You can't-
good.
You can't continue as is, no matter what.
But Dale was right on working in real numbers and like, you know, so it's just a hard situation.
It is. When we have meetings like this, I know it's stuff. And it feels like I'm being the bad guy. But I really do appreciate you guys. Because you're volunteering for this mess.
I mean,
This-
just everybody just come up to you and say, there's no way in heck I would ever vote for a library.
I've heard
Is it
that.
that negative?
Well, I know all of you have.
Well,
I heard one person say negative word.
oh, believe me, I've
I can't say that, I've heard a lot of it.
I get some negative,
I said, I don't know if people are scared to say the truth or what, but nobody's telling me.
24/7. A lot of people, you know, once they realize how little it is, it seems to alleviate quite a bit. I mean, you know, the average person, like I say, the $100,000, every $1 million in assets will cost them $200 a year. We're still not at $1 a day that we're asking for anybody. I dare say the average right here is probably not gonna be $45 at that. Average in this room is probably gonna be closer, you know, so it's not that much money.
From the people that you've heard complaining, do they even own property, like is it even property owners? Have you ever noticed that? Because the people I typically see on Facebook that complain aren't even, you know, people that will have to pay. So I don't know if they realize what this really is.
I have heard a lot of negative. I mean, I can't deny, and it's from all across the board. Like I said, today was good feedback. You know, it was eye-opening for me. I returned a book last week. It was very busy. I was surprised at how busy it was, and I was surprised at the number of families, complete families, and it was like this was an organized outing. You know, it was what they were doing for their summer, and like, I would hate them not to have that. But there are a lot of people that are completely against the millage, and, you know, we can all disagree, I mean, and that's okay. It's just being able to talk about it, and it's being able to, what can we do? Because we would like to, you know, make this work.
When I'm talking along with people, and of course you hear why are they spending $20,000 for a special election? I try to tell them, what most people don't understand is that we're in a situation where we're literally at the mercy of the bank. And the bank said we want you to go after this and make some cuts. We've got to do what the bank says, and we have no choice. We're in debt. $1.9 million is a payoff. Now, that's a pretty deep hole. So we spent 20 grand to do what the bank said we had to do. A lot of people accept that. So, for what that's worth. Does that mean they're gonna vote for it? Probably not.
And it might be beneficial, is it more still yet people questioning, you know, because like, Lord, I've had questions asked about my birth and everything from that point forward concerning the library.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So, you know, one, are we overcoming that people just doesn't see this as an asset? Or are we trying to overcome the fact that, you know, I guess it's just the hard part. I mean, most everybody realize, or seems to agree, we definitely need a library. It's getting past all the who did what.
Well, and some people would just prefer it in the form of a sales tax. I got that, you know. I'm not criticizing, but, you know, so you have all different opinions. Right?
And
Some
there's-
think it should be paid for by all instead of just the landowner. I mean, that's a debate out there. So, you know, I mean.
And like I said, I'm not against the idea of the sales tax. I don't know that would.
Right, no, I agree. I don't know.
You're being paid
the answer.
70% by somebody from out of town, does that help anybody at all on being for something like that?
Well, he does help some people.
I mean, that could be a big difference. And actually, John said we had kind of, and I forgot about it, or that we had kind of discussed the sales tax, but we kind of.
You are literally the only library who builds buildings with millage. Nobody does it like this. I mean, not for this reason, but yeah, the way libraries get built is with sales taxes.
And see, then I've got a whole nother school of people that said, no, that's what millage is for, your library. Yeah, so it's kind of odd.
Except for construction and property, yeah.
Who thought they were getting into this when they agreed to be on the library board? Besides Kelly.
I'm the only idiot who knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, I think you were for Warren, so you're obviously a glutton for punishment and stuff. All right, plan of action, I don't think we're gonna lay off 5 people tonight or anything, but we will definitely get you some good numbers on what cuts we made, what they'll have on the budget on an annualized basis.
What we need to have is a plan. If we have $130,000 a year payment, how are we going to make everything else come in at $351,000?
And we feel pretty comfortable with that 350.
Feel very comfortable.
That still throws me off the 277.
Well, then, I asked for last year's and she gave me a year-to-date total for this year. Library communication machine.
350,000 is gonna be our budgeted revenue number. 130,000 annualized debt payment.
That'll get us close enough that if it's a little off, we can fudge we can wiggle around in those numbers.
So, and on the revenue, we actually need to do like the 90%, since we can only.
No, because that already accounts for that.
The 350.
Yeah, the 351 is what you actually get in pockets. Yeah.
So basically then the 220 for all other expenses.
So that gives you $221,000 to buy supplies, equipment, and staff your library. And you can do it. I mean, you can do it. Do we want to? No. Can we do it?
Well, within 2 weeks, I'll still have all the annualized numbers. I'm not gonna guarantee I'm gonna have it figured out this whole budget. But that's what I'll be working towards.
Okay.
Anything else, Joe? Christie?
I'm good.
I thank everybody for coming, showing interest. We gotta keep working together. And I ain't scared of that sales tax idea. I kinda like it more and more. Because when you look at it, it's literally, I need to get a social worker apparently. But the county, basically in the last 12 months, their 2% brings in $3,470,382.32. Say we did a 0.5% and annualize that, that's $867,000. We got a library paid for in 3 years. Do it an eighth or 2/8, a quarter. It's $433,797.79. I mean, there are some aspects about it that I really like. I mean, and we've had the discussion. I was concerned what effect it could have on the other, and it may not have any effect.
We've got a primary vote in March. So if the village doesn't work out,
And that is a sort of plan.
that would be an option.
Who's watching? Who's watching me?